So can you counsel and give someone who's listening to this and they might be called to support someone right now in their time of grief? How should they approach that?
Step number one is approach it always. And I will say that on this side of it, and in the wake of times that I didn't approach it for my own friends in life that were in a grieving season. Silence is always loudest whenever you're walking with somebody who's grieving. Regardless of how heavy it is, silence is always loudest, because there are times where we look back and a lot of this is a human side of our own pain that we are on our grieving journey, or a lot of this is maybe a little bit justified or a little bit jaded, but there are still the list of people that we didn't hear from that we thought we would hear from will always be able to be recalled easier than the people that we did hear from. And that I accept my humanness in that. I accept my sin in that. And I was even recently going through, just scrolling through my messages last night or a couple nights ago, and remember that I got messages that I never responded to. And I bring that up because number one is approach it. And number two is don't have expectations. There are times, some of the greatest messages that we received from people whenever we shared that he had passed and that he had gone to heaven after he was born, were, hey, I don't know what to say, but I'm not going to say nothing. And that was a really empowering feeling, because it gave me the freedom to be like, to just say to myself, okay, like, I'm grateful that somebody responded or somebody reached out. I don't have to respond. And so I think it's approach it, don't have expectations, but make sure that you're still empowering people wherever they are. I think for us, the most impactful ways that people helped were, what do you need right now? And somebody who is is really fresh in their grief or in a really heavy part of their grief will tell you exactly what they need. Whether that is they need a meal, they need a cup of coffee, they need somebody to come and clean their house, they need to pick, like I remember one time, one of the most meaningful things for us was a friend of ours said, hey, I'm at Target. Do you need anything for the house? What can I get for you? And I remember texting back, like, we just need toilet paper and paper towels. And this was a couple of days after Cyrus was born. I don't even know why it's getting me emotional thinking about it right now, but I just remember they did that. They dropped it off on our porch, didn't even ring the doorbell or anything. And there was a gift for our son, for Hampton, our oldest. And I remember how seen I felt in that moment, because at the same point in time, somebody who's grieving, it might be really weird to ask for things that you feel like should be a part of our house all the time. Toilet paper and paper towels, right? Or it should be like, hey, I mean, put whatever you want on it. If you need laundry detergent, if you need toothpaste, like there's almost a level of embarrassment. But at the same point in time, when somebody comes, and maybe that's even my own feeling, I'm not trying to project that onto anybody in their journey whatsoever, but I remember the people that always said, I'm at Costco. What can I get your family? I'm at this. Or, hey, I'm running through a coffee shop. Can I pick you up a latte? And I think that the more granular that you can make an offer, the more specific you can make an offer, the easier the decision making is for the person who is grieving. The last thing that we wanted to do in those first couple of weeks, first month, was make decisions. We didn't want to make decisions. Picking which DoorDash we were going to do for dinner, because we were, and we were given so much support from our friends and family and gift cards and meals and all of that. But I remember even one of the most heavy things to do was, I don't want to pick what I want to eat right now. Like, I just want somebody to give me something. But at the same point in time, it's met with, like, thank God that people are around us to support us in this way. And so I think that always approach it, always never have an expectation, put the power back in the hands of the person who is grieving, and then follow their lead.
Yeah.
That's a really important thing that I want people to understand. Like I said I've said this I think I've said this today and I will say it for forever. I love talking about my kids, all of them. I love talking about my firstborn. I love talking about my secondborn because Cyrus is always going to be my secondborn child. Hampton is always going to be my firstborn child. And I will beam with pride at the fact that they are my kids. And that might be all I ever want to say. Or I might dive straight into it. I was at the gym today and a guy was asking me about, saying that, we're about to enter a new season as a family. And he's like, oh, cool. Do you have kids? I was like, yeah, we do. We had a child pass away in December. And he asked questions and it was beautiful. And he at first said, I'm so sorry. And then it ended up him sharing something about his family that had walked a similar journey. Not him, but like his sister, I think his sister and brother-in-law. And so I think that was one of those moments where if somebody wants to talk about it, they'll talk about it. And if they say, thank you for saying something, this is just not the right environment to have that conversation, then follow their lead. It is one of those things of, I think that I'll maybe step on some toes with this, and I'm fine doing that. More often than not, what I feel like, and I've been guilty of this in the past too, I feel like I have to do something because I feel guilty rather than saying, hey, do you need anything or can we talk? And if I don't hear a response, then letting it go and saying that is my answer, right? And being okay with if you want to have the conversation and somebody's not ready, don't pressure that.
Yeah.
Honor their journey, honor what they're wanting to do, and follow their lead. Because again, in the end, yes, you're wanting to be helpful, but their grief is not about you.